Hey guys, so a bit of an unusual one this. I wanted to do a review of Mafia 3 because I'm enjoying the game so much. I don't do game reviews ever, but and this footage that you're watching while I give this review, this is from MK Ice and Fire's channel. I discovered him about a year ago because I always like to watch people play without commentary, and his channel has really exploded since I first discovered it when he had just 100 and something thousand subscribers. So Mafia 3, there was a lot of anticipation about it. When it came out, people said it was boring, it was repetitive. I took heed of these initial reviews. I was really looking forward to it because I was a huge fan of Mafia 2, which to me is one of the great video games. So when it came out and these criticisms were flying everywhere, I kind of took heed of that. I was influenced by it, and then I watched somebody playing it, and I wasn't in the driving seat. So watching someone in the early stages of the game taking out these small gangs, doing these smaller missions, and there was a lot of this creeping up, killing the baddies, creep up, kill the baddies, it did seem perhaps it was repetitive. So I think I was kind of prejudiced about the game by that, and when it came out I didn't get it. And then I was in the shops the other day and I saw, well, they're selling it for like £8. I thought, well, come on, that's less than the price of 2 pints. I'm going to go for it. And I started playing it. At first I was like, oh, you get to do these tiny little missions and then there's a cutscene, and then a tiny little mission and then there's a cutscene. And it seemed to be at first that there was more cutscenes than actually mission, but it gradually unfolds, and it is just a superb video game. The story is fantastic. It's a really well scripted story, absolutely brilliant. The lead character is really good. Like I really liked Nico Bellic in GTA 4. I found myself playing as him and really rooting for the guy. There was just something about him that grew on you, and he was likable. All right. Vito in Mafia 2 was the same, but I didn't quite get that same vibe with Trevor, Michael, or the other guy. What the hell was his name in GTA 5? It wasn't quite the same. Switching between characters, you never quite got into empathising with the character like you would in with Vito in Mafia 2, or with John in Red Dead Redemption. That was a great character again, and a great script. John Marston. So the lead character, Lincoln Clay, is a great character, and the sub characters are really good as well. And having Vito reappear from Mafia 2 is brilliant. It really is. And it's got all that when you go in to take out these gangs. In some way the missions are very similar, but each place that you have to take on is subtly different. And you can go in with all guns blazing, but it usually goes wrong. What I like about this game is that you can go into a situation, strategize, creep up, choose your points, watch what the sentries and the guards do, watch them for a while, watch their routine, find different ways to approach them and take them out. In that respect, taking out the guards is very much like in Assassin's Creed Origins. I'm really enjoying like going in to take out a fort or some baddie's stronghold in a cave or something, and picking them off one by one and planning my strategy. It's really, really good. Apart from some occasional temporary freezes where you're driving or something and it freezes for a bit, maybe 7 seconds, 6 seconds, and then boom, it releases again. I've seen no graphic glitches at all. The graphics are brilliant. The atmosphere of the world they've created, this sort of fake New Orleans, is just brilliant. It's really good. The detail is fantastic. The cutscenes, the character acting is really good. It's really good having Vito back in it. I mean, in a nutshell, if you really like Mafia 2, this is better to me than Mafia 2. And you've got to work out, as I said, how to take on these guys a lot of the time. In Mafia 2, when you go to there's one point in the game where you go to Derek's and there's the union dispute. You know, Derek's at the upstairs office at the warehouse at the docks, and you're talking to the workers, and Derek's gang, you know, they're saying, get back to work and all that. And then one of the dockers reveals that, well, it was Derek's lot that killed your father. And then Derek and his crew run into the warehouse, and Vito takes them out. And then finally you have to run into the warehouse. Remember that? And the door shuts behind you. And they're all in the dark there. You can hear them going, hey, rat, you're a fucking rat, and all this. And, you know, they start, one of them or two of them start throwing firebombs at you and stuff. You know, remember that? And the first time you went in, you were like wiped out several times before you figured it out. There are, you know, you've got to strategize what you do in this game. And I find that really, really satisfying. The car driving is way better than GTA. I wish they'd sort out the car driving, the steering in GTA has always been so sensitive. It's way less sensitive in Mafia 3 and much better than it was in Mafia 2. I've got the car set in realistic driving mode and it's fantastic. You really feel the weight of those American cars. If you over accelerate and the back end kicks out and things like that, you can exploit that in certain situations. And the best way to play the game is to drive the car as it would be driven in real life. If you start screaming down the road at 80, 90 miles an hour, crashing into it just isn't, it's no fun. If you take it easy, and the car driving is fantastic, and it really just adds to the whole satisfaction of the game. Lots and lots of things to do. It's really cool. So yeah, I'm about a third of the way through it maybe. I took out the clan leader at some big clan meeting, and then I took out the politician, the guy who owned the land that the mafia guy wants to build his casino on, and then his wife. Took her out at the party where you lace everyone's wine with military grade LSD. That was really funny, and you walk back into the mansion and they're all like, one guy's looking at his hands, like wandering around just looking at his hands. That's really acid, that, you know. And other people, they've undressed to their underwear and they're just raving on the floor, you know. It's really good. Yeah, it's even in easy mode, it's just difficult enough to keep you on your toes. And there's more to come. This is as far as I've got with it. But I just wanted to say, you know, do this review because this game got so much stick. So much stick from people saying, oh, it's crap, it's boring. It's not. This is one of the great video games in this kind of genre, which would include Assassin's Creed and GTA and those kind of games where you've got lots and lots of missions and sub-missions and all the rest of it. It's right up there. The scripting is great in summary. The acting is great. The cutscenes are great. You really get into the story. The lead character, you really start to empathise with him. At first I saw him, I thought, he's a bit of an ugly brute. But I've got into the character. And it's interesting. It's really interesting. Good stuff. Yeah, so... the weapons are fantastic. The way that the baddies die is brilliant. You know, they don't all die the same. You know, you give them a couple of rounds with your automatic with a silencer, your machine gun, you know, that one you get given as an upgrade free. That's my favourite one. Just 2 or 3 shots at a time, short bursts, otherwise it kicks up and you miss. And they die really well, the guys, you know, they fall in different ways. Sometimes they don't quite die, you know, you don't shoot them too much and they fall to the floor and start writhing around a bit. It's fantastic, and the stealth scenes are good. Very good stuff. The stealth killings. It's just a great game, I think. Very good game. You really, really get drawn into this game, and to be honest, it's playing havoc with my life because I start playing this at something like, let's say, 11 o'clock, and I think, I'll just play it for an hour. And then I'm like, go on, I'll give it another hour. And I end up playing till 5 in the morning or something. With this game, I'm having to really, after the first week when I was playing till 5, 6 in the morning and going, holy shit, it's light already. I'm now having to like discipline myself because it really draws you in, this game. So in summary, I think it's one of the great video games. And again, if you're a fan of Mafia 2, and I was a huge fan of that game, absolutely one of the best games ever. It's right on the money, but better again. It's better again. More missions. The creeping up and taking people out stuff is brilliant. It's just another level better than Mafia 2, and right on the money for Mafia 2. And it just feels connected to Mafia 2, especially with Vito in it. And apparently Joe is going to turn up sooner or later. He didn't die in Mafia 2, apparently. I wish I'd not read that, because it would have been more of a surprise, but there you go. So yeah, there you go. That's my review of Mafia 3. Yeah, I think it's a great game. You can get it now for less than £10 You know, get it. Before I got Mafia 3, I was playing Witcher 3. I got into that not very far, and I was playing Assassin's Creed Origins. I got into that maybe halfway, and then I got Mafia 3 cheap, and I thought, and as soon as I started playing, I have not gone back to the other games. This game has got me absolutely hooked. I'm going to be really disappointed when it ends. But there are these packs that have come out. I was playing it the other night, and I noticed a thing about... I went into the games section to see if there was a way I could replay one of the missions. And in that section, I noticed a thing. It said upgrades or something. And I clicked on it, and it took me to the store. And there are all these story upgrades you can get. Loads of them, like 5. You can buy them individually for about $7 or something, and they add a whole new storyline with new characters that you can do. But there's something called a Freedom Pass or something, which is $25, and that gives you all of these upgrade stories. So maybe they're going to bring out more of these, and you'll have more and more and more stories that you can do to add on, which I think is the future of these video games. I mean, for me, if Rockstar Games had brought out like a monthly episode of Red Dead Redemption that you could buy for like $5, and that would give you one complete mission new with new characters that would take you maybe, you know, a couple of evenings to play through if you played it for 4 or 5 hours, you know. I think that's the future for these video games. Don't bring out a whole new story. It's like you've got your TV series. Now just bring us new episodes every 3 months or every 6 months, so we can buy a whole new episode. You just need to write new storylines. You don't need to redesign everything and build a whole new world for a whole new game, right? We like the world, just give us new stories to play. It'll be like your favourite TV show. You're looking forward to a new episode. You know the characters, you know the setting, but you want new stories, and I think that is the future for video games. And I hope, and I've always hoped, that for games like GTA and like Red Dead Redemption and like Mafia, that they would bring out these new episodes on a regular basis, and you could just have new episodes to play all the time. Download them and play them, you know, which would be great. So anyway, there you go. That's my review. I'll give the game 10 out of 10, easy. That's one of the great video games, and you know, I'm not a massive gamer, but you know, I got my old copy of NES 8-bit in the box still, with Duck Hunt and the gun and Mario. Yeah, good game, man. Great game. Hope that's useful. Get it. It's really cheap now. I swear to you, get that game, play it. Don't drive like a madman. Try and drive slowly. Listen to the radio. I'll have the radio on in the car on a chat show, and you hear really interesting talks on the radio and stuff about political stuff that's going on there at the time. And just take in that world, be part of it. Don't go tearing around, smashing into things and driving like an idiot. Play it like it's realistic, and you really get that pleasure out of it. And yeah, at first the missions seem small and infrequent, and there's lots of cutscenes setting up the story bit by bit, but it gradually unfolds into this really big epic drama, and it is absolutely fantastic. I mean, the story's so good you would watch it as a film, and it would work. It would really work well as a film, you know. Okay, so there you go. Mafia 3. Hope you enjoy it. Go out and get it while it's cheap and really get into it, man.